Very good afternoon. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible and your
Thank
slide
you.
is also visible. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for this wonderful opportunity to get interacted with state resource groups. And I would like to emphasize on the content, e-content development through the artificial intelligence, actually, which is the need of the hour. And we should also sensitize each other where we start and where we end, and uh, where we collaborate also, because in today's world, as artificial intelligence is uh, a great revolving technology, and also we say that as per NEP 2020 we need to understand the disruptive technologies that grow every day. So keeping all those parameters in view, I've just collated a few information which we need to have a strong understanding. So when we talk about AI has become a big buzzword, and we need to sensitize. So that is what I'd like to physically touch upon. So, as far as our country is concerned, AI is under the developmental stages, where there are two phases that we normally are observing from the nature. One is without understanding what we start using it. The second is that in the name of understanding, we get stuck in some places. Whether the person may be a teacher, the person may be a student, the person may be a parent, or even certain biased methodologies come here and there for our understanding. As a teacher, when we see our children in the classroom getting their adoption towards the use of artificial intelligence, we need to be very careful on it, because as far as CIT NCERT is concerned, the curriculum related to artificial intelligence is also underway, where we keenly observe the inclusiveness of the pedagogy into it. At what age AI should be introduced, and what could be the curriculum where AI could be pitched upon. But as far as our country is concerned, AI is already there through some of the private vendors textbooks, and also with the content of CBSE as a special models also. So we need to understand the content that we take up for references, so that we understand the unbiased structure in learning. So keeping all those things as the introductory part, we'll just go by the impact of this AI adoption. What is the need and why AI adoption in education should be planned is very clearly given here. As far as the SDG goals, you see that $3 billion global investment in the educational technology is already there in the name of AI. And almost 50 countries have implemented their AI policies. Where, for your information, you could see that Singapore is the topmost implementer in the AI curriculum for all levels of understanding. And UNESCO has also supported their curriculum, Chinese curriculum, at the age of 4 itself. So keeping all those two parameters, you see in today's post-COVID scenario, 90% of the educators are using AI, either knowingly or unknowingly. That is the point we understand, because we are all using our own WhatsApp. Where have we ever given any consent to the WhatsApp collaborators to use our own data from our own mobile phone to analyze and then create a LLM for them to market it? No. Still, we are all running behind the faster world. We depend on plenty number of parameters, and that is how you see 90% of educators are mentioned here as using AI. And also you can see the global trends which has been related for our analytical structure, because teachers are the pillars of our country. Teachers need to understand the ethics and their responsibility. Every teacher in our country, I'm proud to say that they are very responsible in their nature of work, but ethically they are behind at certain stages where they don't understand what is really happening. So most of them, when I interacted a few teachers, they said that, sorry, they said that why this AI is torturing us, why we have to learn AI. At this age of teaching learning process, AI is really needed. So for them, we have to collect certain metrics. So these are the metrics like the market is growing. When I talk about the market growth, global AI in the education technology, you see 5.9 to 6 a percentage of US billion has been growing together, and then you see the value from 25 to 30 US billion dollar to be improved by the 27 to 29. This is a strong investment where every day, every hour a tool is being designed, a LLM is being trained. So we need to understand what are those and what is really to be taken up. And also the second is that adoption among the students. When students are widely and dumbly using it, what to use, where to use, and who has given them to use them. So you see that 86% of students globally use AI tools weekly. And they are also considered as demand-based stages with plenty number of a widespread use means guidance where AI literacy and guidance are still a way forward. The teachers usage is very specifically training. We are focusing on most number of teacher trainings that needs to understand the pedagogical. It's not a software or a tool where we say that this software is required for our teaching learning process. We need to understand. We should learn them. We should understand to collaborate with them. ऐसा नहीं है ना. AI is going to be an assistant for all the teachers. AI can be used as a stepney for a tire in a particular car. It cannot be occupied, but we need to have the understanding when it should be used, where it should be used, so that we guide our children way forward. And also, you see the metric of learning gains. There is a difference of understanding, like when I use a AI for particular tutoring and adaptive systems. So how much is the increase or how much is the outcome significantly seen up along the students in the learning process? You see 30 to 50% in some studies, AI has reduced the time where 27% of less time in certain distant learning settings while maintaining and improving the performance. This has also been studied. I have given you the bookmark for your understanding, which has given a real impact. Yes, the teachers, as we are the teachers, we need to have the potential to strongly impose or importantly analyze the results depending upon how well the quality of that particular tool as part of the teacher facilitation has to be taken out. And we do have to understand plenty number of challenges and gaps, which we see that as far as the UK, 74% of teachers, they said they had no formal AI training concerns exists around with the concept of ethics. So we need more professional training and clear policies to make each other aware. So that is all there, and these are the global trends. Because we normally ask a question, why AI is required in particular with the education scenario is concerned. We are all happy to use AI for everything, but we are not happy with the sensitization and the ethics behind it, where to use and how to use. So we can quickly see that as far as the NEP is concerned, with the techno enabling the pedagogy at the different stages, there is every time we need a shift from a teacher centric to a learner centric. This is where the new NEP 2020 also focuses on, like the teacher should not be centered to have a teaching learning process to grow ahead where by means of impressing the student learning features, but we need to make it as a learner centric where the smart systems came into the architecture of education technology. So that is why we can easily correlate where the education is always interlinked with the technology to form the education technology. AI is also part of the educational technological tools, so it enables personalization, scalability, and multilingual content. When you talk about personalization, scalability, and multilingual, it also uses the cases of the inclusiveness present in the NEP 2020. So sorry, the different use cases which are really used, because we need not have any historical theories. We need to have real practical implementations. So in that case, I have taken up the same our own Diksha's AI translation and other for our understanding. So, so we may ask question like why AI? Because as a pure computer science, we understand we started doing the codings in the name of automatizing the systems. Then we started to find out certain sensitive information. So we thought of creating some sensitization using the words called IntelliSense. And the third, we started using the word called as smart computing. Even before we think, the temperature of the room has to be understood by the sensors and the room has to be chilled down. So this system is called a smart system. So now we left all the three layers of computing systems. Now we are in the AI world. We simply call everything as artificial intelligence, where we say that the human intervention should be there in a lesser category, and then we need more information to be incorporated into the teaching learning process. So where AI has taken up. So when we talk about why AI, we have more personalized and adaptive learning. So when this personalized adaptive learning starts or to be introduced, where does it start? So normally we had the system earlier also. We called it as a tutoring system. When a child does not perform in an assessment, there may be n number of reasons for the teacher to understand. So the teacher started using his personal understanding with the one-to-one interaction, gather some inputs, and then decide him whether to give him with the extra content, supportive content, or supporting teaching learning process, or a content which is pre-recorded in a CD format, whether while the child can study that content and he can reappear for the assessment, so that this personalized tutoring system was enabled. Now we have come to the next generation, so we use them the same methodology and idea, where there won't be any CDs, where there is no requirement of a teacher, where the teacher has to only create the content required as per the assessment outcomes generated by the system. So then we call it as the personalized adaptive learn. What is so good behind using this personalized adaptive learning? More concentration, more responsibility on the teacher, and more ethics to be bound. So these are there in artificial intelligence, and hence we go with the personalized adaptive learning. The number two is multilingual content. When do we need the multilingual content? As far as the NEP 2020 focuses on this NEP 20, this multilingual content, which says that up to class 5, enforcement of the learning through the mother tongue is a compulsory component for both the understanding of the knowledge as well as the content. The child has to use it, where we call it as the psychomotor implementation, listening skills, and all others comes. So for easy understanding, for easy usage across the country, multilingual content was there, and this is also part of the NEP 2023 initiative. And the last is the smart assessment progress tracking. Each and every activity, day-to-day activity, is being recorded somewhere to get ourselves analyzed to overcome the decisions that we take in the future. So because most of us are lagging with the decision making systems, so we need more decision making systems where there should not be any bias system. To avoid bias system, we are using artificial intelligence. Again, what are the primary focus where we can integrate where AI and the NEP 2020? So you see here, the emphasis talks about only three important keywords, key roles. You talk about the digital pedagogy, the number two, AI literacy, the third is your NETF or the tech adoption. So these three are the primary principles that we should always keep in our mind when we want to integrate AI and NEP 2020. What are the key aspects which drives the NEP 2020 along with this is that this is the historical pathway which we need to always keep in our mind. In the era 2020, we launched the NEP emphasis for the technology integration through the chapters 23 and 24. In 2021, we had initial frameworks for the AI in education. In 2022, a few pilot programs for AI tools for teachers were promulgated, and we need to understand those. Certain teachers were selected and trained, we got the outputs of it. And in 2023, uh, it has to be evaluation of AIs to impact on the learning outcome. This is also studied because these are the key four areas where we have to understand. In 2024, we could see that future implementation of the AI resources. And as of now, India AI mission, as part of the Ministry of Electronics and the Information Technology, they have propagated the group called as India AI Mission. They are now prospecting with the focuses on incorporating the needs of the nation, where AI is to be implemented, what are the policies, what are the ethics to be followed. All these draftings are done in this particular area in the year 2025, and further it goes on with the curriculum development by the NCERT. So before we understand further about the e-content, I have just collected some of the comprehensive overview of an e-content. What is an e-content? Most of us talk about e-content. When we ask some teachers what is an e-content, they say that the book that is converted into a PDF format is an e-content. Physical textbook that is converted into audio format, it is called as a e-content. A physical book that is converted into a oratorial or a narrating format, it becomes as a e-content. So I have given you the glimpses of what is exactly the e-content comprehensive overview here. You can see here we have text-based content which can be stored in the notepads, in your text files and your text processors, and also your PDFs inclusive of EPUBs. These are all the contents that are readily available, and even some of the AI tools that are helping us to summarize these text-based content. For example, there is a book called as a National Curriculum Framework, School Education and Foundational Stage. These two books are around 600 to 700 pages. So people use AI methodology to summarize them and then even ask them a question from that particular textbook to overcome the answers. So those are all specifically called as generative AI. So we create a AI which is very generically where the database is very stipulated, and the outcome is also known to us. Only this will be the answer if we have the physical textbook. Even keeping all those things, we have this very specific. But there are other parts of AI also. I'll just explain that also. You can see visual content, infographics and slide presentations. These are all coming under the visual content. The third is your AI powered tools where we have chatbots deriving your informations either from the data set that you have or it is derived from the internet. And also it is having a learning path, personalized learning paths. For example, if you have a idea of visiting Delhi for the first time, you give a chatbot creating a question, taking a tour program, and then asking that particular machine that travel India. You say that I want to visit there. It gives you certain plenty number of learning points as well. So the tool that you select matters a lot. And also we have the content that is related with the assessment and evaluation materials, like what are the category that comes under this are the online quizzes and the grading tools. The next is your multimedia content, which is specifically based on audio and video educational materials, which is called as interactive content, the simulations and educational games, collaborative tools and platform. This also has the discussion forums and LMSs. So keeping the entire overview of different types of e-content, we have to decide upon the AI. So when we talk about AI and its incorporation, what does a student look for? For students, we need to focus on their AI literacy. What is good, what is bad, what they are doing, where they are doing, who is suggesting it. After usage, what is their parametrics? Because their mental stability changes after using AI. Bachcha teachers, before listening to the child or the child before listening to the teacher, he says that he knows everything because he has learned it from the chat. As a teacher, we need to understand, make him enable that AI literacy, which is not learned through a proper channel, will not give him a fruit. For student, it is also required that most of the students jump into the coding methodology with a framework called as no code, low code. So even that is also dangerous for us. If everybody goes with the concept of no coding and low coding methodology, then who will be the real person to sit along with us to verify the codes or to do wonders out of this programming? And for students, data science is also the biggest. What is data science? The other name given to the statistics. So all mean, median, mode post offices have been done by the data sciences now. Only thing is that now we have to incorporate our Python programming and other open source programming in order to inculcate into the students, right? And as far as the Ministry of Education, we have got plenty number of artificial intelligence clubs which are being created through the CBSE. So those clubs are also to be promoted, and where more students has to register to understand the ethics behind it. It is not important to learn only the software tools that are available in the everyday life. It is important to understand the ethics behind behind the learning. So most of the innovation and entrepreneurship should be focused for the student. Whereas when we talk about the teachers, every teacher should have his or his own content in his own specialization created through artificial intelligence. Every teacher should have at least minimum 5 to 7 language of understanding. Even in the recent inaugural launch of one of the multilingual channel by the Honorable Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhanji, he emphasized that as if you are a true teacher in our own country, try to understand minimum 3 to 5 languages, where your children sitting in your own classroom understands different languages. So we need to have an emphasis. This is all one type of multilingual tools that we need to focus. Professional learning, everyday updation should be done, and also we need to understand the analytical support. Normally, as a teacher, we used to generate plenty number of reports to the principals for the CEOs, DOs, and the level changes. Whereas the analytical support, if we know artificial intelligence and the data set with which we are working on, this will all help us to generate that particular analytics. So this is the scenario which I would like to emphasize, like where this AI can be focused upon. What are the different stages for learning the spectrum for using AI? The first is that the passive connection. Most of them are still, my dear friends, you may be amazed to listen that there are still in our country few teachers who are afraid of even touching mouses. They say that mouse is not listening to me. They used to say, ये मेरे बात सुनते ही नहीं है. Mouse will not listen to any person. We are not in that genre of area. So in that case, we need to have a passive connection. We need to understand. We should accept the change. Then we start exploring with the desired content what we are looking for. Then we need to uh, uh, apply the search keyword. What for what content, what you are searching for, what is the specific ethics behind searching for it, and then you go for collaborating with the tool that you are finalized that yes, this tool will help me out, and then you derive a mastery behind that particular tool. So these are the different 5 stages of learning where the spectrum for the particular learning will increase. So if these 5 parameters are strictly followed by us, then usage of AI for any purpose can be very easier for all teachers. I do repeat again, the first is the passive connection. We need to have a positive idea. Yes, we are going to use AI for this particular specific purpose. Number 2, you need to have an exploration. You need to have exploration to have a desired text. आप क्या चाहते हैं? What you are expecting the AI to do? That should be very clear to you. The third is that you have to analyze which type of output you are expecting from the artificial intelligence. The fourth is the application. How do you collaborate? Which are the different types of tools available? For example, I am looking about doing a project on designing some brochures. So brochure design templates are already available in the market. Some are free, some are paid, some are even 3D made. So if I am looking into this project, this is my objective, then I start looking into the desired text. Where is the sample text? When I say template, template will give you only idea. From this idea, you have to now start exploring it. What could be the attractive word? What could be the so impressive word? Who are your audiences? Whom you want to see the brochure has to be designed. Similarly, the third will be like you will be analyzing your desired text there. And then I'll select one tool which is reflecting, helping me to design the particular, which you call it as the step 4 application. Then I'll take a tool and then study entirely what this tool is going to help out, what are the features of that particular tool, which feature can I use in my own project. So when you do this, then you become as the master. So these are some of the 5 phases of the learning spectrum using the AI. So you can ask me a question, sir, what are the different tools which are most prominently used by teachers who have recently visited us? Recently, we had a meeting with some of the teachers along with the school students for incorporating the AI curriculum with the collaboration of Intel also. So where we understood that these are the tools that most of the teachers are knowingly or unknowingly using in their classroom. So I thought of building this for your information. When you talk about textual data collaboration, we need to have ChatGPT and Perspective AI. When you talk about visual generation, you have to take about Canva AI, Adobe Firefly could be the best option. And when you take about using the videos for your further enhancement, Pictory, Animaker, and Synthesia will help you how to derive your own videos, generating of videos based on your artificial intelligence tools. And for generating quizzes, most of us know because during COVID, we had been behind Kahoot and quizzes. So you all know this. And the last one is your audios, Murph audio and natural audio. These are some of the tools kept for your understanding. Beyond the basics, what AI really brings us, all of a sudden we need a content to be generated. Most of the contents are generally generated through your word, quizzes, and your notes. The second is that we need to have a content enhancement. We need to convert those text into the infographics and then later on into the video. What talks about the adaptive learning? The difficulty in understanding so that the difficulty dynamically gets relieved out of it, right? So that has to be understood from the adaptive learning. And the third is your accessibility. We need to always concentrate on TTS, transaction, inclusive, and learning. And further it moves on with plenty number of other understanding. What a really teacher gets benefited out of this particular AI content. Why should I use AI content? Why should I create a AI content? Where should I use this AI content? What could be the benefit for me if I create an AI content or if I use an AI tool for my teaching learning process? So when I am dependent on the AI, almost 30 to 40% of my preparation time gets down. I can focus on mentoring, which is my routine work. I can also see to that the prototype drafts quickly. We can also have the eradication between the digital divide, which is always the cause behind the rule, which is driven down by the bridge versus the urban resources, the rural and the urban resources. And always we need to concentrate on ensuring the equity with by means of multiple sources of forums, right? So when I have spoken about what is AI, what is NEP's incorporation, and what is expected from a teacher, and what could be the ethos behind the student and the teacher emphasis on the e-content metrics. Now I have to jump with the actual usage of this particular AI. Mostly people use AI without understanding how to derive the specific outcomes from that particular AI. In fact, we have plenty number of AI content generators. We have plenty number of prompt generators. Still, a few are free version, few are paid version, depending upon the usage. And free are also few are also based on licensing, right? So what has to be derived and where has to be concentrated? Whenever we are dependent in this era based on the artificial intelligence, we need to understand what is a prompt. Because prompt helps us to give a question or an instruction to the AI. So what gives more output? What question gives you more output is based on your prompt. So what is a prompt? How these basic prompts are going to focused upon are being depicted here. Prompt engineering for teachers, because the quality of question that you raise is equally or proportionally equal to the concept of the quality of answer that you derive from. How do you ask a question normally for level 1, level 2, level 3? For the basic question, we normally create a quiz on photosynthesis. Number 2, for level 2, we also ask 10 MCQs for grade 7 with answers. Level 3, which is called as the advanced, 10 MCQs for the grades as per the Bloom's technology, and also apply 3 recalls and then the other answers for their explanation. So most of the questions looks vague. So how this vague can be derived upon? So these are the golden rules for prompting. Most of us use these prompts as per our convenience and as per our need without understanding the outcomes. And whatever outcome is being received, we copy paste it and then start sharing it with others. So we need to understand these global rules before we start prompting it. First is define the output format. We have to refine iterative, always verify it. So we have to have all these parameters. The first step will be very specific. What is your question? For which grade are you talking about? What is the topic? And what is the type of content are you relying upon? For which you are relied upon your AI. Number 1. Number 2, give additional context. When I talk about a grade in the first question or a first part of this particular prompt, I should be very specific whether it belongs to CBSE board, whether it belongs to the Kerala state board or it belongs to Rajasthan state board. So curriculum of that which particular has to be very contextual, and which textbook, even in the states, when I say about the state Rajasthan, it may have different educational boards also. So we have to be very clear on that particular context. Then we talk about how do you expect the output, like you want the reply to be presented in a PPT, you want in a image format, you want in a pictorial format, those things can be done. And the 4, you talk about refining. If you're not understanding the answers, the how do you expect the output from it, you can reiterate it so that the answer comes in a different version. What is to be understood here? As a teacher, my dear friends, you should understand it is easy to get verify that whenever a child submits a report to you, whether this report belongs to AI or to the particular child, how do you identify it? We can identify with the language. In AI or a machine learning, we never have conjunction words. We doesn't have any commas. We doesn't have any adjectives in our human language. But in your AI converted generated content, we will never find any conjunctive words. We will never find any commas. We will never find any other formats. And mostly the font used by AI are only 3. One is your Arial. The second is your Calibri. The third is your Bookman old style. These 3 fonts. Keeping the fonts itself, we can identify whether the student has submitted that particular content which is generated by AI or not. So I have taken up some of the samples subject-wise for your understanding. In a mathematical point of view, create a worksheet with 10 word problems on fractions for a grade 6 using real life context like pizza, money, measurement. Provide step-by-step solutions in a separate section. This is a wonderful question. You can later on try these in your patterns as far as as part of your practices. Number 2 is the science. Write a student-friendly explanation of water cycle for grade 5 using a simple language. A 4-step diagram, outline, and add 3 MCQs at the end. These are very specifically defined. These are refined prompt for your information. These are samples that we can say that this is will give you exactly what when we are fetching some information for the e-content development, because e-content development doesn't alone look what is being grabbed from the internet. It also refers to the content that you have. So as far as the subject of social science is concerned, I have prepared a timeline of 10 key events leading to India's independence from 1857 to 1947. Presented in a table, year-wise, event-wise, and their significances. Add 3 critical thinking questions for the grade 10. So this is how a prompt has been generated for the social science. So how does it differ in a language? You see that write a short 150-word moral story of grade 4 with a clear beginning, with a middle stage at the end. Give new vocabulary words with meanings plus 2 comprehension questions. So this is another beautiful example on the English prompt generated for the English language. Similarly, for the arts and creative, suggest an attractive poster idea for World Environmental Day for grade 7, which gives 3 catchy slogans, color themes, suggestions, and 3 drawing items. So these are some of the examples of prompts. So when we talk about in depth on prompt, so prompt gets relied upon the word called as RISE, RISE. R focuses on the role, where we need to assign a specific role for our prompt. Number 2, we need to have a proper instruction. The instruction should be very clear and detailed. And number 3, we need to be very specific. We need to have more add depth and style for the particular prompt. And the third is that we need to have an evaluation. Ask AI to derive some of the questions like MCQs or any fill-ups or any surprise prompt in the presentation so that they get some information out of the particular prompt. Even as a small example has been derived. You are a grade 6 science teacher. Create a 40-minute lecture plan on water cycle. Give them their objectives, examples, activity, quiz, homework, which are really NCERT aligned. So we need to be very keen in these things when we derive any prompts. These are some of the focuses on subject-wise prompt phrases. Like mathematics, thoughts in algebra, science may role play activity on parts of the plant. Social science, Mughal Empire timeline, what can you generate some of the infographic and the quiz. And also we need to understand in the language, can you translate Hindi poem into a simple English for the South Indians specifically. So these are very collaborative, and a few tools which I would like to really highlight here, which can really help you out to find out ChatGPT, which is very known to you, and I have given the list also with the information of whether it is useful for you, what does it do, and some of the free versus paid limitations have also been added for your information. So the second comes with the Canva. Please use Canva because it gives a free tier and it is very quite generous. Third, quizzes with AI features, Defict. It also helps us to find out the differentiation in different topics and texts. Third, the fifth one talks about the magicschool.ai, designed specifically for the teachers, generating lesson plans, assessments, rubrics, even parent communication templates. Speed. Kindly use this as only the supporting tools. Please don't use this as your core work. The second set of focus of tools are here. Cupoid, which helps more interactive lesson slides again. This is a free version and a few are going to be a payment basis. And recently, which is very booming here, is the Notebook LM, where teachers can upload their documents, notes, summaries, studies, and all, we can have an interaction, so that this is very specifically uh, given in a free usage mode. OER comments, not strictly AI, but rich library, open educational research that can be adapted, good source for content and ideas. It is fully open source and you can use it free of cost. And Moodle, everybody is aware of Moodle, where it helps us to create our own host content discussions, and its resources are also now in the format of open source. The last one is your learning activity management system, which is also called as LAMS, which is also enabling us to have a visual authoring environment and a structure-based content. So these are some of the taunts that we have everywhere, because when computer was identified and it was brought to the market in the year I remember around 1957 or 1959, there was a huge protest by the teachers of the entire world saying that computers will replace all the mathematics teachers. There was a huge drum fire in the history. After 2 to 3 months, everybody understood the impact of the usage of computers. Similarly, now most of the teachers are also afraid of AI, saying that AI is going to replace us. No, kindly make this very public that teachers are going to be the main pillars of this nation, and AI is only going to act as a supporting tool. Only thing is required at the moment is teachers are required to have specific training, either through their organization or through their personal intervention. That is one what we have to understand. Most of them are AI hallucinations. Like people say that AI मुझे track कर रहा है, AI is tracking me, AI understands me, AI trains me. Yes, you need to have a information that you be careful while you are using your own mobile phone, while you are switching on to your PCs, while using internet. So you need to be very cyber healthy in order to avoid these hallucinations. Number two, digital divide. AI can further focus on its dependency over the internet connections also. So these are all in the pipeline, and the Ministry of Education is also working on to that, and most of the corporate are also focusing in a way such that the dependency on the internet connectivity can go in a different pattern. And the third so important one is that over dependence. Once we are happy with the outcome of the AI, we immediately jump with the conclusion that that is very nice, and we start depending upon it itself, thinking that it will help me out. Even before going for a meeting, we put the title of that particular meeting in the OpenAI, get some of the inputs, attend the meeting, show that you are having some information. After coming back, you're going to park. So over dependence should be reduced. And the fourth, which I said, your teacher needs training and support. And the fifth one is that all the states nodals should understand the curriculum aligned with the particular student teacher learning should be very, very essential as per the curriculum that is to be required. The future ready classrooms with AI will always have this impact. Wherever we have smart classrooms today, it will be converted into AI classrooms with the focus like if the child is absent continuously, if the child is missing his classes, the child is not able to understand what the teacher was teaching in the classroom, the first system that will be there in their dashboards will be the adaptive learning. Number two, real-time language understanding will also be there. Number two, number three, AI tutor for homework can also help out. Number four, virtual science labs, which is also there existing in the name of O Labs in CIT, NCERT. And then the fifth one focuses upon the data-driven dashboards, which is already maintained by the Vidya Samiksha Kendras. Vidya Samiksha Kendras are part of all your states, where each state is having one Vidya Samiksha Kendra, and they are pushing their student, teacher, and the infrastructure details of that particular state for easy decision-making systems. Then and their implementation. So you can see here the VSKs are there to govern with your information, and then You see, India AI and Niti Aayog are already piling up with plenty number of activities for easy understanding. And the third is NCERT CIT also has plenty number of AI incorporations. The wonderful example that I would like to focus here, Diksha, eParshala, PM Vidya, teacher capability building AI research. Along with this, you can even analyze the app called as eJadu Pitara, which is created under the label of CIT NCERT. You can find the three artificial intelligence chatbots created in that particular project, so that we get more impact for the parent, for the teacher, as well as the student, how to use it and where they are using it. So key takeaways from this session of 45 minutes is that AI will always be a teacher's assistant. It cannot replace a teacher. Number two, prompting. The teachers has to have a new language pattern of how to use the prompt to get more information, so that they keep themselves superiority over the children in their classroom. Third, start small scale experimental, so that you have more interaction and be very confident. Number four, for the e-content development, the teacher's creativity plus the AI efficiency will always give engaging learning process. So with this, I come to the conclusion with the quote that the pursuit of knowledge, Jnana, wisdom, pragya, and the truth, satya, were always considered in the Indian thought and philosophy as the highest human goal, which was quoted from the National Education Policy 2020. And I will always say that every accomplishment starts with a decision to a particular keyword called as try. If you don't try, it won't come. If you don't try, it won't be applicable for you. So we try with intention that we learn and grow together with the students of our country. So with this, I come to the end of this particular session. I thank for this opportunity and hope the organizers can take back. Any questions from any specific?
Yes, thank you, sir. If participant, if you have any question, you can raise your hand.
Yeah, I have LP Narsimuddin raised the hand.
Yes, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah,
Sir,
you are audible, please.
audible. Okay, sir, can you explain hallucination once again? AI hallucination.
AI hallucination in the sense like, see, before touching anything, for example, you are going to buy a TV for your house. So what do? You get your market survey from your friends and others. And even if you don't think about this today, even if you speak about buying a TV within your family members, you get your ads generated in your mobile phones. How does that happen? And after looking at that ad, what happens? Some sort of impact starts in your mind running out. What to trust, where to trust, whom to believe. So that situation causes based on hallucination. Until or otherwise, we go to the real market, look into the TV, touch it, what are the features behind it, we cannot come to the conclusion, right? So that is one stage where we call it as hallucination. Because AI hallucination is that until we start using plenty number of tools to experience, we cannot rely upon saying that using AI, this will happen, that will happen. One of my friends said that my student came and said me that AI means we have to pay money. ChatGPT works is based on money. OpenAI is free. So these are some of the myths behind the hallucinations. And also we need to ethically and responsibly understand what is the reality behind. I hope I have.
Yes, sir. One more question, sir. Can AI give wrong answers to
Yes,
prompts?
yes, 100% it can give you the answers. So I would like to thanks for this wonderful question. I have the answer. Like, there are three patterns of AI that we have today. One is the generative AI. If you have a textbook, you create a AI to answer all the questions based on the textbook that you have given. That comes under the category of generative AI. The second AI, which focuses on the open AI. Open AI means the answers generated by your chat GPT is not recommendable until or otherwise you verify it. The word itself says it is OpenAI. OpenAI means it can search from any reference. The reference that is taken by that particular AI is not verified by any person. Because when you ask a question in OpenAI, you get an answer. Again, you use the same question. Again, in the different panel of the same OpenAI, you get a different answer. The reason is not verified. Now, it solely depends upon the user who has to take a decision whether you are relying upon OpenAI or generative AI. The third is AI agents are being created. For example, if NCERT wants to own an artificial intelligence by itself, then I will not recommend NCERT will not go for OpenAI or it will not go for generative AI. It will go only for creating an agent. Agent means it is a localized information source where the AI is trained for that particular company alone. So these three AIs are there. So these are all submitted for your information. Yes, there are plenty.
Thank you, sir.
I think Ebenezer sir has asked some question. Dr. B. Ebenezer.
Yeah, Dr. Rajesh, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, sir. Like as you mentioned, it was these words were in my mouth. The agentic AI is more preferred over OpenAI or generative AI. So we are using that agentic AI for our this thing.
It depends upon the user. It
One
depends
minute.
upon
1 minute.
Sir, as far as your point was that agent AI is very close to network. So it is very safe for the organization to have agent AI rather than dependent upon the Gen AI and the Open AI. Recently, in our India AI meeting also, most of the corporate prefer to have agent AI, which is going to be very secured point for them. Mr. Ranjit Kumar, TL Ranjit Kumar has raised his hand. Oh. Pankaj sir.
Sir, can we take the question in the chat box? Then we
Yeah.
will share it with
Yeah.
you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Thank you so
okay.
much.
Okay, sir. Sir, thank you so much for this insightful and forward-looking session. And your presentation has clearly shown that how artificial intelligence can act as a valuable co-partner in developing e-content.